Be bowling against Smith. First time these two have met in a televised match, and Bryon-Smith will be leading it off. Maybe good in his case that there's no time to think about anything. Just come back out and bowl. And he starts it out again with a strike.
The number 2 player is a 2-time PBA Tour champion, 2-time member of Team USA from Dallas, Texas, the Argyle Assassin, Mike-Fagan.
Hey, Gary, you made a great point about Bryon-Smith. Bryon-Smith has a game under his belt. The nerves are gone. Not so much for Mike-Fagan. Mike-Fagan now has to fight through that the first couple of frames.
And we're watching a very emotional bowler here. And told us yesterday he tends to be very aggressive. It's the way he came into this tournament, and he wants to stay aggressive. Well, he dropped that one out deep. Leaves the 10.
Yeah, that had a little airtime to it. But you're right. He told us, he says, I need to stay aggressive. I need to do what I do best. I need to throw it hard. I need to hit it hard. And if that means I need to loft it to keep it on line and play that straighter shot from out, that's what I'm going to do, and we see it right there.
He lofted that one, didn't he?
Yeah, and so the loft, what that does is it cuts down on hook. The ball can't hook if it's in the air, and so it's a way for him to keep the ball on line.
With the spare. 10th year on the tour for Mike-Fagan with a couple of PBA Tour titles and a regional title to go with it.
What song was that? Throwing the 716T. Just the top ball. It's very strong, obviously, by the hook rating. I wonder when they're going to come out with an Argyle ball for Mike-Fagan.
Really coming from that gutter side.
And if they do come out with Argyle ball, Gary Thorne is my witness. I said it here first, and I expect some type of royalty.
You're just in for all kinds of platitudes and rewards here today, aren't you?
That's what I do, Gary.
I understand. May have had a little air on that, but that's what he said he was going to do. And he said, I'm going to stay with my game. Now Bryon-Smith, tour member since 1992. So he said no longer on the tour full time, but won that first match. At a 6'10".
Well, the 6'10" is okay when the 4-7's with it. Not okay. Bryon-Smith not expecting that ball to go high. So the next time on that lane, he will make an adjustment. When you hear players say, wow, it's usually a, hey, I threw that good. Wasn't quite expecting that reaction. So then there's an adjustment. When you hear a, oh gosh, that was awful, that means they threw it bad. I mean, they're pretty good at letting you know, for the most part. And most of them are pretty honest with the descriptions of each shot.
You see that he had to defeat 2 former master champions, Norm Duke and Tom Hess, whom we just showed you, in order to reach the 4. So Hess was defeated by him, and now watching Smith bowl here in our second match. And again, not finding that break point right where he wants it to be, and again off on that.
Yeah, it actually missed the break point because after he throws his shot, he looks at his hand, and when a player does that, it's like, hey, I missed it at the bottom, meaning he didn't catch all of it at the bottom of the swing. The ball pushes right through that break point, comes off the end of the pattern, and it's late getting to the pocket.
The spare. You saw him looking down, seeing where he is landing and how much slide he's got going, and not very happy with that frame. That is Mike-Fagan's girlfriend, Emily Mayer, who we're looking at to the left there. She is a bowler as well, bowled in college, in fact, as did Fagan, who went to St. John's University.
She's also the IBC Youth Program Manager for USBC.
Here is Mike-Fagan.
Back-to-back ring and 10s, 2 different bowling balls on that right lane. He He went with the ball he's using on the left lane for the right lane, and same result.
That 10 has been stubborn.
For him, it has. We didn't see a lot of 10 pins in the first match. Mike-Fagan has not missed the pocket through 3 frames. However, with a spare here, he will only lead by 1 pin.
Now he comes in having shot 700 series in 5 of his 6 matches. And he will find it for the spare, but you see with the eyes looking upward, that's not what he was after. So the adjustments are going on by both of these bowlers here in these lanes, trying to get a little better angle than what they've had. Fagan starting with a 9, a strike, and a 9.
Gary, you alluded to the good stuff that he did throughout match play. The only match he loses was with a 743 3-game series when Barnes shoots 806.
With a 300 game. There it is again. Messenger did not get across, came in front of the 10 that time.
Messenger. Sorry. I like that.
Was inadvertent.
Where are you getting your info from? That's good stuff.
Bowlmore Lanes, Bangor, Maine.
All right.
This is not a particularly happy bowler right now.
Yeah, like I said, 4 balls in the pocket, 1 strike to show for it. You know, when your carry percentage is 25%, that's usually not a good thing.
Again after the spare. So Mike-Fagan still trying to find the touch as he again will put the spare up, as he and Bryon-Smith both having some problems with the strikes.
Maybe whoever comes back.
Adjust as this oil pattern affects the bowlers, and it was laid down before the first match, and that's it. Lanes will not be treated again. Well, 7 on one side, 10 on the other.
Yeah, and that's the second shot in a row that Bryan has had issues with the approach. That's a stick. Anytime you see that foot come up, that shot was a little left of target. It held line, and same kind of carry issue that Mike-Fagan's having on the other side.
So he will get it for the spare, but for both bowlers, struggle goes on. Today, ABC and ESPN will bring you 2 NBA games. It'll start with Kia NBA Countdown at 3 Eastern on ABC. 3:30 Eastern, ABC, Derrick Rose, the Bulls against LeBron and the Heat. Rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. ESPN 6:30 Eastern, Tony Parker, the Spurs visit Lamar Odom and the Dallas Mavericks. NBA on ABC and ESPN today. Bryon-Smith trying to find that strike. And again, a little movement as he lets go of the ball.
Bryan's going to need to make a big adjustment now, and it may be a ball change or feet and target, but this ball never hooks. 5 count washout, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10.
See if he can do it. Nope. So he'll open that one. This is turned into a real struggle, unlike the first match where Smith was able to find the strikes and generally stay with it. Both he and Mike-Fagan now are really struggling to find the strikes. These two have met.
And you see that Mike-Fagan just absolutely dominated that match. 777 against Bryan 685. But the good news for Mike-Fagan is he has hit the pocket every shot. Even though he's only struck once, Bryon-Smith has only hit the pocket twice in this match.
Fagan taking time, get his ball ready. He will use up as much of the clock, if you will, in getting ready to bowl as any of the four. Fagan lands it hard, but he gets it. So Mike-Fagan making the adjustments and getting the strike, just his second in the 5 frames.
So a bowling shoe on his left foot, tennis shoe on his right foot, all rubber on that right sole so he can push off and get into that slide. It's a guy that uses his legs a lot in his swing. Obviously, you see this big, long arm swing, but he really uses his lower body to drive into that pivot step. Lots of traction on that right foot, the step before the slide, so he can really get in and post that shot.
Fagan working on the strike. 10 again.
You know, we talked about Mike saying that, hey, I need to stay aggressive. I need to do what I do best. Don't hold back. Watch this. Talking about a guy that's really getting after it, lofting it. Look at him getting up on his tippy toe on that slide foot. You don't see that a lot. Last time the one bowler I remember doing that a lot of is Jason Couch. Jason used to really get up on his slide step, his right foot, Jason being left-handed. Jason Couch, top 10 in all-time career money. Great player. So a little couch there I see in Fagan.
He will get that. So both of these bowlers shaking their heads. Fagan with 2 strikes. Bryon-Smith has only 1. However, Fagan's been able to get the spares while Smith will be coming off an open box. So both of these are trying to find the adjustments here to win this match and move into the final here at the Masters. At PBA.com.
Gary, my gift to you, an extra frame subscription so you can be up to date.
Unbelievable that you would
on all
do
the
that.
stuff that's going on.
Our very first meeting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. On we go. 2 bowlers trying to find their way. Bryon-Smith, the winner of the first match. That 10 will not go down.
Bryan changes balls, goes a little bit straighter, but you can see that because of the lack of motion in the back part of the lane, he leaves a weak 10. Right now, he is desperately trying to find the right formula.
1 strike for Smith, and there is another spare to be added to it. So each of these bowlers has opened the door for the other to be able to gain a substantial lead, but right now neither are really able to do that. You see Smith, match 1 at 9 out of 12 strikes, and here 1 out of 6.
Yeah, the real story here is that Bryan has only hit the pocket 3 times. Mike-Fagan has not missed the pocket, and you know that doesn't look good for Bryon-Smith's corner.
Smith, adjustment. I think there's cement on the bottom of the 10.
Yeah, it's just that ball change gives him a more consistent look to the pocket. It's just a little soft entering the 1-3, and that's why the 10 pin is still standing.
So again, unable to find the strike, and you can just see by the head movements he's making how tough it is for him to get where he wants to be.
Well, the oil pattern's broken down in such a way that it's forced Bryan to move in a little bit. His angle is still the same through the front part of the lane, but now he can't get the ball he was using to read correctly, so he changes balls, finally hits the pocket back-to-back shots, but the entry angle is wrong, and that's why he left 2 10 pins.
So as Smith sits and watches for Mike-Fagan, another opportunity to really jump out here in this match. Again, the spare and didn't like the field.
The Argyle Assassins got a lot of things going on internally at times. When he's good, he's really good. I think he's his own worst enemy. But when he does or allows himself to do what he's best at doing, and that's staying aggressive, bringing it with speed and with hand and with revolutions like that, He's tough.
He beats up the lanes, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's pretty hard on the surface.
Wow.
And if this was old wood, the proprietor would be really upset with him. But synthetic's a much harder surface. Watch this air time there right around the 9th board. And that's what holds it on line.
So for Fagan, that's a big strike. I mean, that is his third, but with Smith having only one, each one of these strikes he puts up gets him ever closer to moving into the final.
I mean, the lead is only 18. It could easily be 40.
Yes. Working on the strike.
Yeah, baby, get up the hill.
Yeah, baby.
Get up the hill. Indeed.
Well, he said he was not going to change his style, regardless of what happened on the lanes, that he was going to bowl his aggressive way, and he's done that.
Well, I think what's really brought Mike-Fagan's name into the limelight is the fact that he's become a more versatile player, and we see that right now with how straight he's going. He used to be a guy that just hooked it from side to side. He's got the whole package now.
Desperately needed to have a strike right there, and that is exactly what Bryon-Smith gets.
Yeah, well, Smitty right now, in his mind, he's thinking, I just got to strike out to have any chance.
There is Jim Welch, the manager of the strike zone here at Sunset Station, this beautiful bowling facility. Been great hosts and done a great job here in preparing the lanes for this Masters, our USBC Masters 2012. And now obviously needs another. Just cannot afford to fall any further behind Fagan. Bryon-Smith working on the strike.
Bad.
2-8, you heard him say
Tricky lane.
bad.
Yeah, and he also said his tricky lane. Bryon-Smith is, his Masters run is all but over now. If he converts the 2-8, the best he will be able to shoot is 191. Mike-Fagan's already in the 200s.
Does convert it, but knows what came before will cost him here in his second match of the day.
Strike here, it's all over. Mike-Fagan will take on our #1 seed, Chris Barnes, for the title.
This week for Fagan in the wins that he had, and he only lost to Barnes when they met to decide who was going to be 1 and who was going to be 2. Fagan's margins of victory were 32 pins or better.
Yeah, baby.
And you can hear the emotion coming now. He'd been relatively quiet through much of this match. That's not really Mike-Fagan. Fagan rides emotion and doesn't mind letting it come out, and you can hear it the last 2 times up.
Yeah, well, he didn't have enough to hoop it up about, but now he does. Check it out.
Yeah, baby. Come on.
Remember, he was working on a strike in the 8th, when he got up in the 8th frame, and he caught that double, and you heard a little "yeah, baby" from him, and then get up the hill, and now the one in the 9th.
That'll be strike number 6.
Emily likes it. I guarantee you Mike likes it. Mike-Fagan will advance. Nice run for Bryon-Smith. Always great to see him. Great to see his wife Mariah out. But unfortunately, he is going to fall short. Mike-Fagan has not missed the pocket this entire match. Going with the loft, the straight ball, or as I like to say, the high hard one.
That was the high hard one. There's the 10 again. But for Mike-Fagan, just stayed consistent, and we will move to the championship that I think it's fair to say most thought was going to happen. Chris Barnes, Mike-Fagan. Barnes 1, Fagan 2 in the seeds.